5 years ago this week, President Obama provided his birth certificate and issued a public statement about it. And I, at the time, said that it was a big mistake because if you are a committed birther, if you are a birther who at the time was rooted in racist or racialist ideas around President Obama or othering President Obama because of the connections to Indonesia or the connections that people said existed to Islam or whatever the case may be, right? You were not going to be convinced of anything by the birth certificate. And case in point, a week after we went on the air, Lewis, and said, this is not necessarily going to resolve anything. Allegations that the birth certificate was fake, people doing supposedly scientific or forensic Photoshop analyses of the birth certificate saying that it was fake. I don't know how much releasing the birth certificate really solved for the serious birthers, and I include Donald Trump in that list.
Yeah, it didn't help at all. And so I don't think it was a mistake to release it because it really required no effort on their part. And it was such a part of the national discussion, absurdly so, that so what, you release it. I'm sure Obama himself knew that this would not convince the hardcore birthers of anything. Why would it?
Well, there was this furor around it, right, where there was a demand for him to release it. If he releases it, he's basically kowtowing to birthers, which is crazy. He's legitimizing birthers in a sense. If he doesn't release it, he can be accused of ignoring something that, as you're mentioning, did get a lot of pickup in the media, and then he could be attacked for that. So it felt like sort of a no-win situation. And I guess what you're saying is by releasing it, at least he did do something to address it and say, hey, I did what I'm going to do and I'm moving past it.
Yeah, the whole thing was just so stupid. Some people are still at it. I'm sure Orly Tates is still at it.
It's amazing that the Ted Cruz birther stuff has basically disappeared when I believe that more than likely Ted Cruz is also eligible to run for president in the United States. But to the extent that there could be a case made against Obama and or Cruz, the case feels much stronger against Cruz if you're only going to make one case. And of course, the birtherism around Ted Cruz has been minimal. There have been a few so-called prominent birthers who have said, well, we should look into Cruz as well. This isn't partisan. I question Obama and I question Cruz. But for the most part, it has been exposed as having been racially motivated and really inspired by right-wingers looking to take down Obama rather than by any real connection to the facts.
Yeah, and for some reason, after he secured the nomination, that's the difference here. All of this stuff came up well after Obama was already president.
Yeah.
And with Cruz, before he even wins the Republican primary.
Gamefly is sort of like Netflix for video games. They have over 8,000 new and classic games for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, Wii, and a bunch of other platforms. And you can play as many games as you want for one monthly fee. And if you find some games you want to keep, you can buy them for a low used price. There's never any due dates or late fees. And our audience can get a free 30-day trial at gameflyoffer.com/TDPS. The games are shipped directly to you with return envelopes included. There's no contracts, and you can rent games through the mobile app. Get the free 30-day trial for the David Pakman Show audience and support our show by going to gameflyoffer.com/TDPS.